Or find a different group. I mean, that's not...
New hobby or something.
Well, I mean, that's one option, is to find a different group. That's something, to consider. What about, have you thought at all about possibly entering some sort of rehabilitation program?
Rehab for pot?
Have you thought about the possibility of it? I'm not saying that I'm not saying necessarily that you have to.
I'm not
you should.
addicted. Why would I need to go to rehab?
Well, sometimes it helps people just to get a perspective on why they've been so reliant on it, and it helps people to come up with...
It's not reliant, it's a social thing, really.
Is it? Okay. Okay.
Or to avoid, like my problems, like I was saying, when my boyfriend's driving me nuts.
Okay.
Or when I get stressed out. And that's how I got behind in school. Was I'd be behind because I'd be out smoking, miss a couple classes or something, and then when I have to make up for it all, it just stresses me out more. It just makes me want to give up on all that and just smoke so I don't have to worry about it.
Okay.
But then I come here and I feel guilty.
Well, that's not what we're trying to make you do here. What we want to focus on today is some goals, some strategies. What are some specific things that we can do to help clear up all those problem areas? The issue of the drugs, your relationship with your boyfriend, and then maybe the grades. So we talked about, first of all, maybe finding a different group of friends. Are there any friends at all that you could, maybe if you hung out with some of your friends on an individual basis, would there maybe be, could you go out to a movie with one of your friends, or go out to eat? An environment where, a public environment where pot usage would probably not be likely to occur.
Yeah, that's an option.
Is that something that would be strange for you to ask one of your friends to do?
No, not at all.
Okay.
But they just want to smoke before they left.
Well, I mean, obviously there's nothing you can do to stop your friends from that, but if they smoke and you don't, and then you guys go to a movie together, then you're in the clear. Does that sound like a good solution?
Yeah, that's an idea.
Okay, so meeting up with friends in public places. Something else we can look at. What about, we mentioned your boyfriend's friends. Maybe you and your boyfriend could just spend more time together as a couple. Maybe talking about the status of your relationship and going on dates. There would probably be no marijuana involved there if your boyfriend's not a big user and you're not buying anymore.
But this all costs money.
Not necessarily. Going, on a college campus, there are movies offered for free, and, you could just go sit in a coffee house, hang out, talk.
You must have gone to a different college than I do.
Well, at some colleges they do, yeah.
Okay. Maybe I'll hit up the one across town.
Yeah, I mean, there are lots of things you can do for free, just spending time with a friend or with your boyfriend to maybe strengthen that relationship. Why don't you give me some of your ideas? What do you think are some... I think we've pretty much covered the drug issue. Why don't you give me some of your ideas about what you can do to help the situation with your boyfriend?
Well, as far as I can tell, it's quit or he's gone, so...
Is that the main issue with the relationship problem?
Basically, yeah.
Okay.
And we've just been fighting a lot, so...
Well, what is your priority?
Well,
is it the pot or is it your boyfriend?
No, it's my boyfriend.
Okay. Okay, so it's a valid question. Are you,
Yeah, I'm in love with drugs. What?
No, that's not necessary. I mean, that's not what I'm saying, but, sometimes, people just find that it's easier to go with the substance than with the relationship. But I'm glad that the relationship is important to you. So we already discussed maybe going out on one-on-one dates or one-on-one outings with your boyfriend where it would just be the two of you, you could get some alone time, and you wouldn't be tempted to smoke because it wouldn't be available. What about, what other kind of things could you do with your boyfriend, do you think, to make him feel better about your trying to quit?
Well, he's always asked me to go to this club with him, this art club, so I guess I could do that.
Yeah.
Maybe I can meet some new people there, too.
Yeah. I mean, you don't necessarily have to cut all those old friends out of your life, but...
That's what it feels like, though.
It's going to be hard. It's going to be hard. You know, if that's all they're interested in doing and they're not willing to accept you if you stop smoking, then perhaps you might have to limit your interaction with them. You know, make some barriers as to when you can hang out with them and when you can't. But I'm not saying you need to give up those friends.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, the art club, that sounds like a good idea. Again, another environment where pot wouldn't be available. Be some more time to strengthen the relationship with your boyfriend. What about making a contract with your boyfriend? In therapy, we do that a lot. We'll make a contract with the patient, and it doesn't have to be anything elaborate, but I know it's kind of a strange thing, but it could be something valuable.
I don't get what you're saying. Like,
well, all you would have to do would just write up, you know, on a piece of paper, you know, say, I, Ashley, vow to be drug-free and answer truthfully all questions that, what is your boyfriend's name?
Bryce.
Bryce. Answer truthfully all questions that Bryce asked me about my drug use for a period of, 2 weeks or something like that. And they'll sign it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, don't do it for a long period of time, just small increments where you would promise to him that you wouldn't smoke for maybe 2 weeks at a time. And then you could gradually lengthen it. I mean, it's an option. Is that something you feel maybe you could do, or would that be...
Yeah, we could try that.
Yeah. Okay. Tell me how you're doing with your schoolwork now.
Well, I'm still behind, so one of my teachers suggested I go to this tutoring session.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess I really need to do that.
Okay.
Or else my parents be very mad when they see my grades.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So are you planning to go to those tutoring sessions?